while to get the text. Okay. All right. She's doing. She's doing. All right. All right.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us here today. My name is Mike Balkin. I'm the Chief of Police for the City of Ocala. With me today are City of Ocala Mayor Ben Marciano and Major Steve Cuppy of our Investigative Services Bureau. Here to provide you with an update on some significant developments in the investigation pertaining to the tragic events that occurred at the Paddock Mall. That was a shooting that occurred just 2 days before Christmas. As everybody knows, on December 23rd, a targeted attack of violence occurred inside the Paddock Mall, resulting in the loss of David Barron's life and leaving another innocent woman injured. Our hearts go out to the victim's family, friends, and all of those who were affected by this terrible tragedy. Being at a mall, this murder took place in a very public setting and traumatized many people who were there that day. But this event really impacted our entire community. This morning, I can announce to you that the murder suspect involved in this crime, Mr. Albert Shell Jr., was located and taken into police custody. Our agency, in collaboration with the U.S. Marshal Service, specifically the Florida Caribbean Regional Fugitive Task Force, and with assistance from the Marion County Sheriff's Office, has worked tirelessly around the clock these past 2 weeks to bring this case to resolution. I want to personally thank everyone who was a part of this investigation, especially our detectives as well as the agencies who assisted us, including the Marshal Service and the Marion County Sheriff's Office. I'd also like to take a moment to express our deepest gratitude to the incredible members of our community. The outpouring and numerous tips that we received from our citizens really played a critical and crucial role in resolving this case, and we certainly can't thank them enough. I'd also like to thank the various news media outlets who assisted us along the way by delivering our message as we went along. I want to remind our community that the Ocala Police Department is made up of some of the most dedicated and professional law enforcement folks that I've ever had the pleasure of working with in my entire career. I thank you for your trust, our members of our community for trusting us, and I certainly hope that we can come together and build a safer and stronger community after this event. Before I take any questions, I do want to turn the microphone over to our mayor, Mr. Ben Marciano. I'll be happy to take some questions as soon as he's done with his comments. Thank you, Kim.
Thank you, Chief. Well, good morning. First and foremost, I want to offer my condolences to the friends and families of Mr. David Barron. Our hearts and our prayers go out to you. I also want to take a moment to thank law enforcement, everyone who is involved, the U.S. Marshal. They have worked tirelessly ever since the shooting in the mall. I've been in touch with Chief Balkin every day, and the amount of work that they put in to make sure that this suspect was apprehended is unbelievable, and I'm so grateful for the sacrifices they make every day to protect us. You know, we are a resilient community, but we will not stand for acts of violence like this. And my commitment to you as our mayor is to make sure that we work with law enforcement to make sure that we are doing everything in our power to address these issues moving forward and that we are a safe and healthy community. So thank you, and God bless.
Chief.
Thank you, sir. I'll be happy to try to field whatever questions I can answer.
Chief, where was the suspect found, and what led you to his location?
So I can tell you he was located in a house about 20 miles southwest of Ocala, really an area called the Florida Highlands. I'm not going to give out that address, but suffice to say we've received well over 100 tips, dozens and dozens, well over 100 tips in this case that certainly ended up helping to bring this case to resolution.
We know the reward was raised to $20,000 on Friday. Was that beneficial in capturing the suspect, and will someone receive that reward?
I am confident that reward will be paid out. We are still sorting through a ton of these tips and leads. That reward, however, will in fact be paid out, yes.
Did the increase really help at the end?
I think it did. Yes, sir. I'd like to think that it did. As you know, we started that reward offer out at $5,000. that went up through assistance from the U.S. Marshal Service and then again from the Florida Sheriff's Association. So we want to thank them for their commitment to seeing this case come to full resolution.
What's your message to Albert Shell Jr.?
Look, the simple fact is that Albert Shell Jr. is responsible for one of the more heinous acts that we've seen in Ocala in a long time. His criminal history alone tells me that he should never have been on the street to have been able to commit this crime, and we're going to see to it that he serves the rest of his life behind bars. Yes, sir.
Did he appear to have any help in escaping or remaining at large? Did he make any statement of remorse, non-remorse?
I wouldn't say he made any statements of remorse. What I'll say to that is as we button up this case and deal with the evidentiary side of this, with the crime lab up at FDLE, the next steps for our detectives will be certainly to bring anyone to justice that may have been aiding and abetting him and his ability to stay away.
Marion County, though?
Absolutely, yes,
He
sir.
was in Marion County?
He was in Marion County, yes, sir.
Chief, did you have any issue getting him out of the house where he was found?
So no, about 1 o'clock this morning, I believe it was, I was notified that we had his whereabouts pinned down. Law enforcement surrounded that house, ultimately negotiated with Mr. Shell for about 2 hours. He ultimately came out and surrendered without incident and was taken into custody.
Chief, you said the victim was targeted. Why do you believe that?
Yeah, we know the victim had a prior relationship with Mr. Shell. And I don't want to really go into details about the motives behind this case, but no reason to believe that this was anything other than a beef between two individuals that was resolved in a mall with a gun.
You mentioned you pinned him down. Did you guys use like cell phone towers? What kind of resources did you use to locate him?
Yeah, I'm not going to go into detail on the specifics of how we located him. I'm sorry.
Any update status on the other victim that was shot?
Yeah, my understanding she's on her way to full recovery, and that's all I've got for that. Yes, sir.
And we know there was a lot of people at the mall when this happened. Is there any plans to maybe up security in areas like malls around the county?
Yeah, so Ocala's a growing community, right? We've got a ton of shopping centers. We've got the mall. We've got Heathbrook. A lot of locations where something like this could potentially kick off. I can say this, looking back on some of the work that we've done just around the Paddock Mall for the 2023 calendar year, I think officers did over 500 security calls there at the mall without any increased security. So I think we're there. It's something that we'll look at certainly around the holiday season to make sure our community stays safe.
Was the second victim part of the beef that the shooter had with Mr. or was she an accident?
She was a completely innocent bystander that got caught up in this mess. So she was not related to either the victim nor the suspect in this case. Yes.
Sorry, he was booked at 5:08. What time was the arrest made? Like, what time did you make contact?
They made contact just shortly after 1 o'clock, I can tell you that. I think it was about 2 hours of negotiation, so around 3 o'clock. Yes, sir. 3 a.m.
So the community rallied together already to talk with victims.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have a victims advocate who can continue pouring into the people who had to witness this?
We do. As you know, we had an event here at the police department to try to help those folks get through which certainly was a very traumatic experience. We're going to continue with our victim advocates to help support them. So, great question. Yes, sir.
Chief, we saw video of the suspect saying he was innocent as he was taken to the Ocala Police Department. Did he tell you anything otherwise, anything different?
I don't want to get into details about his statements here at the police department. Certainly some incriminating statements were made, and I'll leave it at that. Anything else?
I have a quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
Shootings, we're seeing a lot more of that. We know that, something I have to cope with. And he did have a warrant, but it was just a misdemeanor. Is there any hope that we're going to try to look through people that we do have active warrants on, that they might be a danger or using guns or targeting them, maybe getting U.S. Marshals to do more in Ocala to get the really dangerous people off the street?
So I'm going to start out with the first part of that comment, that we're seeing more violence. That's just simply not correct. We've averaged, I think it's about 8 homicides every year since 2012. We ended last year on that number. The numbers of shooting, quite frankly, are down tremendously, which is a huge comment considering the population growth that we've seen here in Ocala and Marion County. So as the population nearly doubled since I've started, homicides have gone down nearly 60%, 40, 50%. So, and shootings are right in line with that. So, you know, I would argue that that comment about shootings and murders have increased. They have, in fact, not. Why you hear about those is because we put them out. You know, we want to certainly make the community aware of what's going on in their community. So we are absolutely in front of this on our social media. We don't try to hide this. We don't try to sugarcoat it. We want our community to be aware of what's going on. I think that's why there's this belief that there's this huge increase in crime when quite frankly, violent crime is down not only in Ocala, not only across Florida, but across the entire country.
How does that impact your clearance rate? Like, does it help that you put out more?
What we've seen is that when the officers and detectives have more time to spend on fewer cases, that their clearance rate. God bless you all. I hope you have a great New Year. Thank you.